What's up guys, and welcome back to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that is all about Xbox. I got the white table back out here in the studio, and you know what that means. We're gonna be talking about hardware, specifically the new controller by PowerA, the MOGA-XP Ultra.
Xbox Ready.
So this thing came out a couple of weeks ago. I've seen some reviews about it already, and I looked at this and I was like, this is crazy. What is this thing? So when PowerA reached out to me to sponsor a video about it, I was like, yes, I gotta see this thing in person. I gotta get my hands on it. I gotta see what it's about. So big thanks to PowerA for sending this my way and for sponsoring this video. So the first thing you'll notice about the MOGA-XP Ultra is that this box is huge compared to like a regular controller box. It's definitely gonna catch a lot of eyes in a retail environment. And overall, once you unpackage this thing, it's like, it's got a pretty cool like box. It's like, okay, nicely packaged. Then you get into the actual box, you get the controller, you got your little phone clip. They have a guide that's like all folded up right at the top. And then if you lift this thing up right here, it comes with a huge, long USB-C cord. It's like standard controller stuff nowadays. And then at the very bottom, they give you a free month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Which makes a lot of sense because PowerA's intention here is to give you a controller that you can use with every part of the Xbox ecosystem. Your console, your PC, Xbox Cloud Gaming. So yeah, I feel like a free month of Game Pass Ultimate, which gives you access to cloud gaming, that's a no-brainer. So you have the controller out of the box, but you can break it down into an even smaller controller, and then boom, you got this little mini-me right here. It's so cute. And then you got the little phone clip action here, and it attaches right to the back of the controller. It has a dedicated slot to make sure it's nice and snug. So you put it right here, you lift the clip up, and then you're like bang, bang, boom, clips in, and then you just tighten these little things right here, and right here, you got a clip. You can use it like this in the regular configuration, or again, you can take this, have the little mini configuration as well. So right off the bat, this controller, it feels a little different than a standard Xbox Series X or S controller. The mini-me part of this controller makes it feel a little longer, a little taller than a regular controller. You know what feels really good on the build of this controller is the placement of these advanced buttons back here. Because of the taller nature of this controller, the longer nature of this controller, my middle fingers actually rest perfectly on the two buttons on the back. So yeah, this controller is filled with lots of little surprises. Those two advanced buttons on the back, those are super helpful. The D-pad, I would say, feels a little bit more premium than a standard Xbox controller. Moving to the bumpers, they do have a clickiness to them, like a mechanical mouse click situation. The triggers are a little bit wider than a standard Xbox controller, and in my experience, they have almost no dead zone, so they can be very, very sensitive, where if you're playing a shooter, that's really helpful. And you can also adjust it as well. I really enjoyed how straightforward the process was to remap some of these buttons to these two back buttons here. All you gotta do is hold this button down for 3 seconds, and then once it starts blinking, you go on over to the front, you click A, and then you're like, okay, I wanna click this back button, make that my new A button, and it's good to go. Some other controllers, you need an app to kind of remap some of the things, so it's nice to have an onboard option to do the same thing. Taking the handles off and going just to the smaller version of this controller, I liked this a lot more than I thought I would. It still has a pretty comfortable feel, and what's cool about this is that this mini version of the controller also has rumble in it. So you could still get the full console experience without these two little handles. Obviously, this is a lot more portable than if it had the handles on. Like I can go ahead and stick it in this pocket right here if I really wanted to as soon as I unzip it. And then I go bing, bang, boom. I bring this over to a friend's house, I'm ready to go. Where I think this controller really shines is in this configuration right here. I've had other cloud gaming centric controllers in the past, but this one I feel is kind of the superior way to enjoy cloud gaming. I get the full experience of having a controller like I would on console, plus a little extra, right? Because like I said before, I'd have two back buttons, two advanced buttons, and that kind of longer handle, that taller feel, is a perfect counterbalance for even a phone like this, which is pretty beefy. PowerA really set out to do something really interesting with this controller. Y'all know I love games like Skyrim, Elden Ring, and RPGs like that when you're creating your character. We all know you have the option when it comes to like races, classes, whatever. There's some options that let you specialize in one thing. The PowerA controller would be like the jack of all trades human class. This thing has a little bit of an edge over regular Xbox controllers because it has these two back buttons. It's like pro features on a really nice controller. Here I'm using the MOGA to play some Chivalry 2 on my laptop, and usually I play this with mouse and keyboard. It's been quite a while since I've played with a controller, but I was actually able to remap my dodge and my crouch controls to those advanced buttons on the back and made the transition back to a controller really smooth. There are a lot of cloud-dedicated controllers out there already. This controller is something that you can use with your phone, with your computer, with your console. You're not limited to only using this with one part of the Xbox ecosystem. This is also really cool because this is the first third-party Xbox controller that is compatible wirelessly with consoles. Up until this point, if there was a third-party controller, it'd have to be wired. But this one, you can connect it to your console, same as any other controller, just wirelessly. You hit the sync button on it and it's good to go. You don't need a dongle, you don't need some like crazy like Bluetooth compatible device to plug into your Xbox, none of that. And speaking of its wireless functionality, the double tap feature makes an appearance on this controller as well. For those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, on a regular Xbox controller, if you have your controller synced up to multiple devices, you can double tap it and then it'll connect to whatever device that you have it. It'll switch between the two. You can do the same thing on this controller as well. So if you're connected to your Xbox and you're like, I want to go into the other room, play on my phone, all you gotta do is double tap and it'll connect to your phone. I really think this controller shines through again with cloud gaming specifically. We know that Xbox is now supporting Rumble through cloud gaming if you're playing on Google Chrome or on Microsoft Edge. And because both configurations of this controller, the bigger one and the smaller one, have Rumble packs in it, you can take full advantage of that as an Xbox fan. So who is this controller for? Well, it's definitely nice for me because I'm someone who uses all platforms within the Xbox ecosystem. I jump pretty frequently between my console, my PC, and cloud gaming, and even remote play. I got sent this at like the perfect time because Diablo 4 just came out, so I put in like 35, 40 hours on Diablo 4 with this thing. And yeah, when I'm like, okay, it's time for bed, you know how most people curl up with like a book or something before they go to bed, or maybe they watch YouTube videos? I've been taking this controller, strapping the phone onto it, and then remote playing Diablo 4 from my console in the other room while I lay down in bed until I pass out. Yeah, this controller has been really nice for me. If you're out there and you have a Game Pass Ultimate subscription already, you use cloud gaming a lot, this could be really useful for you too. Overall, I thought this was really cool. I like the idea of a modular controller design. It's like, oh, this controller is too big for me. Well, now you can turn it into a mini controller. It's perfect for your tiny hands. Or, oh, this controller is too small to me. Well, okay, now you can clip it on for the extra size and have some advanced buttons on the back. You're configuring it, clipping stuff onto it, customizing it in the way that you want to play. If you want to check this out for yourself, maybe buy one for you or a gamer that you really love, an Xbox fan you really, really love, we have the links for that below this video. That's it. Goodbye. See you next time.